and welcome to the Haverhill Journal, where we take a look at what's happening now in our city. I'm Lindsay Paris, and today we're taking one last look at the storied history of Rockingham Park and talking to Discovery Club students about their summer project at Consentino School. But first, break out the funky 70s garb and boogie on down to the Buttonwoods Museum's Super 70s exhibit, winner of the 2016 Curate Your Own Exhibit contest, for a look at the decade's greatest. From the $6 Million Man board game, to the rockin' sounds of R&B 1979 LP, to your favorite Planet of the Apes action figures. Winning curator Greg Mutafis and I got the lowdown on the ways of the Super 70s. Yes, it's me, Super 70s Lindsay, here today at the Super 70s exhibit opening up at the Buttonwoods. Greg Mutafis is going to take us through this amazing exhibit that he created, and we are going to see some of his super funky stuff. So, Greg, how did you come up with this idea?
I grew up in the 70s. I was born in '69, and I had just great memories of reading comic books and Saturday morning TV. And I'm an illustrator, an artist, and a lot of what inspires me comes from that decade. People do tell me that my style has sort of a retro vibe to it. I like a lot of the energy and color of how comic books kind of worked in the 70s, and I bring a lot of that into how I draw comics today. This is a little bit of the stuff we have here at the exhibit, and we've got a lot of vinyl, a lot of books, just some fun stuff, brings back good memories. We've got the Zoom LP from the Channel 2 show Zoom, we've got some Santana, we've got some spinners. Also have a lot of rare Marvel DC comic stuff from the 70s. This is a favorite Electric Company Spidey Super Stories LP. It's pretty strange Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein story LP. Great art. You can come down, flip through it, check it out. This is a pretty awesome item. We've got $6 Million Man action game by Parker Brothers. We've laid it out here. Probably brings back some good memories for 70s people. The nicest thing about this is it has a lot of different storylines that it kind of taps into, and my favorite is probably Steve Austin preventing a nuclear blackmail attempt. We've also got some 8-tracks. I would say Superfly is my prized possession. We have quite a few albums on display, and I brought some of my favorite LPs. Aerosmith, Night in the Ruts. We've got the classic Rolling Stones Sticky Fingers record, Nevermind the Bollocks by the Sex Pistols. We have a really kickin' James Brown collection, and the Ramones, Road to Ruin. And we have the epic Bill Withers Just As I Am record.
It's one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, it's a sweet album. And over here we've got kind of a disco section up top, little disco dance instruction. We've got a little Bee Gees, fold out action, and for Lindsay, I know one of your favorite bands, we have some Earth, Wind and Fire down there.
So Greg, since I wasn't alive in the 70s, I need to learn from the 70s master over here. So teach me the ways. What are some of the 70s slang words that I should be using today?
Oh wow. I still use dig and vibe quite a lot. Probably too much for the 21st century.
Like, I dig this vibe?
I dig this vibe, and it's got a nice vibe.
Any crushes? Any 70s crushes?
Crushes. The list is long. There's a little bit of an Adrienne Barbeau crush, Cheryl Ladd from Charlie's Angels.
Oh yeah.
Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. Everyone has a crush on Linda Carter.
Mm-hmm. Favorite 70s fashion?
70s fashion?
70s fashion.
I kind of like ascots. I kind of like that look, yeah.
Yeah, how about these big sunglasses?
Those are nice.
Thank you.
I think ladies look nice in giant sunglasses. Men look crazy. So rock the sunglasses.
Now, did you have, like, you know, the leisure suit, the big collar, the polyester?
In my grade school days, I have some school pictures that look like that, yeah.
Favorite 70s band?
70s band. I'm gonna just blurt out Cheap Trick. A lot of great albums.
I saw them right over there. They are, right over there.
I tend to give them a little extra love because they kind of get left out of the talk, you know, with Led Zeppelin and The Who and all these other giant bands.
Greg, I love this exhibit. So thanks for having us, and everybody out there, come down and dig the groovy scene at Super 70s at Buttonwoods. If you're like me and look for any excuse to dress up 1970s style, head on down to Buttonwoods to visit Super 70s from now until August 26th. There's no admission charge, so I'll catch you on the flip side, cats. Over a century of horse racing, sporting events, and entertainment has come to a close at Rockingham Park as the complex prepares to shut down permanently on August 31st. Millions of folks from near and far made the trip to the track to see legendary horses such as Mark Antony and Dr. Fager race in nationally televised events. The Journal paid a visit to Rockingham this week for one last look. As New Hampshire's largest tourist attraction for over 50 years, the name Rockingham Park put the Salem area on the national map, drawing over 1 million visitors annually through the mid-1990s. General Manager Ed Callahan and former track superintendent Peter Reynolds reminisced with us about the track's long and colorful history.
1906, racing and wagering were not illegal in New Hampshire. August Belmont and John Betamillion Gates got together and decided to create a racetrack, put together the first meet. June 28th, 1906 was the first official race. In the 20s, car racing became more popular, and then ultimately they built a 1.25 mile board track. We still hold the world record for a motorcycle on a board track. I think it was 131 miles an hour, and of course nobody ever broke it because there were no more board tracks to race on. In the early 30s, racing was brought back by Lou Smith. Again, there had not been any legislation to make racing legal, and again was shut down by the local sheriff's office and constables. But the idea was truly born that pari-mutuel wagering should be approved, and in 1933, the legislature in New Hampshire finally made wagering on horse racing legal. And in 1933, they opened up with an official meet, and racing continued from that point.
I worked here when I was going to school, taking care of horses. And then after I got out of school, I came here about 1946 or 1948, and was employed in various positions. And eventually I was the track superintendent. It was a wonderful place for people, for the horsemen, the horses. It was called the Little Saratoga of New England because it had such a good reputation.
Seabiscuit ran here, not very successfully. Dr. Fager, one of the winners of the New Hampshire sweepstakes, one of the richest races in the country back in those days. I think he ran in '67. Marquetry won the New England Classic here.
The fans, oh, they would be thousands of them. It was huge. We had 4 trains that used to, on the weekends, come in from Boston, and they were always loaded.
If you watch the movie The Sting and listen to the announcer in the background, they're calling a race from Rockingham Park. There were episodes of Spencer for Hire. That was a 1980s series that were filmed here at Rockingham Park. At the end of July in 1980, there was a horrific fire. The majority of the grandstand burned to the ground. The clubhouse building, although it was still standing, was completely gutted. Rockingham Venture ultimately purchased the property and started the rebuilding process. It was quite a process. I think a lot of people were thrilled to have Rockingham back, and we of course have been thrilled to be here for the last 33 years. Rockingham has been a small city within itself. When we were operating the thoroughbred meet, we would have close to 4,000 licensed horsemen on the grounds. Owners, trainers, blacksmiths, veterinarians, grooms. We'd have 1,600 head of horses that would be stabled on the grounds. At that time, we probably had close to 800 employees. It was, a community within itself, and a very enjoyable one with a lot of great people.
The only thing I can say, it's a great loss to Salem to lose such a great place.
There have been a lot of spectacular moments for Rockingham, the state of New Hampshire, for Salem, New Hampshire. I think Rockingham ultimately put the whole area on the map. Millions upon millions of people have visited Rockingham over the years, and we're all thrilled to be a part of it.
In its heyday, Rockingham was known as one of the most beautiful horse tracks on the East Coast. It will be missed. The property has been purchased by Tuscan Brands, and redevelopment into a mixed-use retail and residential area is planned for a 2019 opening. A lovely new butterfly garden and seating area will greet Consentino students when school opens up in just a couple weeks. Haverhill Discovery Club's summer program students designed and built a project on their own with funding from a special state grant. The Journal was on hand at the ribbon cutting to meet the kids who made it happen.
So today we made a garden, but we worked together and we had fun doing it.
Did you guys all work on the garden?
Yeah. We got started by putting all the mulch in and finding and measuring the perimeter.
We put the mulch and then we put flowers.
I worked on doing the bird bath. We were making stepping stones.
Discovery Club is an after-school program and a summer program where students are able to kind of get together and meet other kids that maybe they wouldn't meet during the regular school day, and to interact with teachers in a more fun and spontaneous way. There's a lot more emphasis on like community and projects and really hands-on learning.
So what we do at Discovery Club is we do some projects, and sometimes we just go on field trips and have fun and learn at the same time.
We made these backpacks for our nature books.
We have fun and we learn about stuff.
This particular project came from a special grant that we applied for and that we got earlier in the year.
We realized we were going to get a grant in order to do some kind of summer service learning project. Basically, service learning has three main functions. It needs to be academically driven, it needs to have a community presence, both with partnerships and doing something that's going to have a lasting effect, and the students have to have total ownership. And they found this space that they thought was just very open and in need of some love, and they came up with a garden.
When we got here, it was no flower. The grass, it was dead, and we tried to do a garden because it was nothing here, and we make the garden, and that looked cool.
It's almost like learning how to do project management. You have this problem and you need to figure out how you're going to do it, how are you going to pay for it, in identifying people who can help you, the community partners. That was a really big part of it, and the collaboration. And so teaching kids all of those skills, these are really important life skills.
I went to Tilton School. Some of the kids from Tilton worked with the kids from Consentino. The Discovery Club did a fantastic job. I want to say thank you to all the volunteers, everyone associated. But most important, listening to the kids talk about what they did, talking about teamwork and what a great project it was. That's what the future is all about.
This is so much more than a one-time project where we just do something and then leave it behind. All of the plants that we planted are going to, at least the majority of them, will need to be ripped up and something new will go in next year. So in that way it's going to be very organic and always changing, and it will probably never look exactly like it does today again.
Do you guys all go to Consentino?
Yes.
What are you looking forward to doing out here, like at recess time?
I think I'm just gonna sit on the bench and watch the butterflies.
I would be doing reading a book on the bench.
Maybe we could do science out here. I'm just probably gonna relax and watch the garden.
I'm gonna do the same thing, watching and relaxing. I like about the garden, about the stepping stones, because if you like wearing sandals, you can now you get your feet dirty.
It's gonna make it much more fun because normally for the kids that have nothing to do and have no one to play, they can watch the garden with all the butterflies. And I also think that it's good to learn outside, and you can learn about the nature also. You can learn about different bugs that come, and it's just fun. I'm really happy to do this in my school.
The Discovery Club's after-school program will be starting up again in September and is open to students at Consentino, Tilton, Golden Hill, and for the first time, J.G. Whittier, as well as their Access 21 program for HHS students. Look for flyers sent home with the students or call 978-420-1954 for registration info. The Haverhill Firefighting Museum is inviting the community to submit September 11, 2001 art response pieces to be included in its 9/11 memorial exhibit this fall. Art pieces may have been created at the time or in the years following. Works created in local schools' art classes are particularly desired. Interested artists can contact Cindy Graham at 978-994-1854 or by email at cynthiagraham409@gmail.com. HC Media has awarded 3 $5,000 transfer scholarships to Northern Essex Community College 2016 graduates Shayna Richards, Kimberly Whiting, and Chad Gorham to continue their education at a 4-year institution. All 3 graduated with an Associate of Arts degree in Journalism and Communications and were students in the video journalism course taught at HC Media. If you have a story or event you'd like to see featured on the Haverhill Journal, call us at 978-372-8070 or email info@haverhillcommunitytv.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook or at our HC Media YouTube channel. And that's what's happening in Haverhill the week of August 11th. I'm Lindsay Paris, and we'll see you next time.